If Excel ever throws a name question mark error at you, it's basically saying, I don't recognize something you typed. And the frustrating part is that the formula can look almost correct. The good news is, name question mark is one of the most fixable errors, because the cause is usually a simple mismatch between what you meant and what Excel can interpret. In this breakdown, you'll learn a reliable checklist you can run in seconds. We'll cover misspelled functions, missing quotation marks, and names that don't exist. We'll also talk about regional separators, hidden spaces, and when structured references in tables go wrong. By the end, you'll be able to look at a name question mark and predict the exact reason before you even start clicking around. Think of it as learning Excel's language rules. Once you know the rules, your formulas stop feeling random, and you'll spend less time debugging and more time using the result. Next step. First, let's define what name actually means. Excel evaluates a formula by reading tokens, function names, cell references, defined names, text values, and operators. When it hits a token it can't resolve into something real, it returns name question mark. That's different from value, which is about the wrong type of data, or ref, which is about an invalid reference. Name is more like a vocabulary problem. Excel is saying, I don't know that word. This is why name often appears immediately after you type a formula, even before any calculation gets complex. It also explains why the fix is often near the start of the formula. A single missing quote can make Excel treat text as a name. A misspelled function can make Excel treat it as an unknown identifier. So the mindset is simple. Find the first unknown word Excel is tripping over. Next step. The most common cause is a function name Excel doesn't recognize. That can be a plain typo like VLOOKUP instead of VLOOKUP. It can also be a function that exists in some Excel versions but not yours. Or it can be a language mismatch. Some installations use localized function names, while others expect English names. Another subtle one is adding a space inside the function name, like SUMIF instead of SUMIF. Excel reads that as two separate tokens, and neither is a valid function. The fastest way to debug this is to isolate the function name and check it letter by letter. If you're copying formulas from a website or a colleague, this is the first place to look. And if you're using newer functions, confirm your Excel supports them, or choose an older equivalent. Next step. Next up, text that isn't wrapped in quotes. In Excel formulas, plain words are not treated as text. They're treated as names Excel must resolve, like a named range or a function. So if you write equals if a1 equals yes 10, Excel doesn't see yes as text. It sees yes as a name, and if no defined name called yes exists, you get. The fix is simple. Use double quotes for text, like yes. The same applies to criteria in COUNTIF, SUMIF, and filter conditions. Also remember that Excel uses double quotes, not single quotes, for text values inside formulas. Single quotes are mainly for sheet names with spaces, not for text comparisons. If you remember one rule, it's this. Any literal text inside a formula needs double quotes. Next step. There's a second quote-related trap, sheet names and workbook names. When a sheet name contains a space or special character, Excel requires single quotes around the sheet name and references. For example, Sales 2026 A1. If you forget those single quotes, Excel can misread the reference and sometimes you'll end up with #name question mark, because parts of the sheet name look like unknown tokens. This also happens when you reference an external workbook. The workbook name appears in brackets, and the sheet name might need quotes. Another edge case is when you copy a formula from somewhere, and the quotes are smart quotes like this instead of this. Excel does not treat smart quotes as valid formula characters. If you suspect that, retype the quotes manually. Quotes look simple, but there's strict syntax in Excel. Next step. Now let's talk about defined names, also called named ranges. If your formula uses something like equals sum revenue, Excel expects revenue to be a defined name. If it's not defined, or it was deleted, you'll get #name problem. This is common when you copy a workbook tab into a new file. The formulas come along, but the named ranges may not. Another common issue is scope. A name can be scoped to a specific worksheet, not the whole workbook. So a formula on sheet 2 might not see a name that only exists on sheet 1. Also watch for names that look like cell references. Excel has rules about what a valid name can be, and small differences matter. The fix is to confirm the name exists, confirm its scope, and confirm it points to the intended range. Next step. A sneaky version of the same problem is when Excel thinks you meant a name, but you meant a cell or range. For example, typing equals sum A1 A10 is fine, but equals sum A1 A10 is not. That missing colon changes everything. Excel may interpret A10 as a separate token, and then struggle to parse the expression. Another example is using commas or semicolons incorrectly between arguments. If Excel can't interpret an argument, it may treat a piece of it as an unknown name. This is why #name sometimes shows up even when you didn't use any words at all. The fix is to check your separators and range operators. Colon for ranges, comma or semicolon for arguments, and spaces only where Excel expects them. Small punctuation marks carry a lot of meaning. Next step, regional settings deserve their own slide because they cause endless confusion. Some Excel installations use commas as decimal separators, which forces semicolons as function argument separators. Others use commas for arguments and periods for decimals. If you paste a formula that uses the wrong separator style, Excel may not parse it correctly and can throw #name as a side effect. For example, equals if A1 parentheses 0 1 0 might need to be equals if A1 parentheses 0 in another region. This also affects array constants, like 1 2 3 versus 1 2 3, depending on orientation and locale. The key point is that the formula's logic can be correct, but the punctuation doesn't match your Excel's expectations. When debugging, if everything looks right, check separators next. Next step. Another common name trigger is structured references in Excel tables. When you write something like equals sum table 1 revenue, Excel expects a table named table 1 and a column named revenue. If the table was renamed or the column header changed even slightly, the reference breaks. Extra spaces in the header are especially nasty because they're hard to notice, but they change the column name. Also be careful when you type a column name that matches a function name or looks like a cell reference. Excel usually handles it, but inconsistent brackets or missing brackets can cause parsing issues. The fix is to confirm the table name, confirm the exact header text, and let Excel build the structured reference for you instead of typing it from memory. Tables are powerful, but they're strict about names. Next step. Let's cover a weird one. Invisible characters. If you paste a formula from a chat app, PDF, or website, you can bring in non-breaking spaces or other Unicode characters. They look like normal spaces, but Excel treats them differently. That can break function names, named ranges, and even separators. Another invisible issue is leading or trailing spaces inside a defined name or a table header. You might think the header is revenue, but it's actually revenue plus a trailing space. When your structured reference uses revenue without that space, Excel can't find it and may return name question. The practical fix is to retype suspicious parts, especially function names and quotes, and to clean source data and headers with trim and clean where appropriate. When a formula fails for no reason, suspect hidden characters. Next step. Now, a quick note on add-ins and custom functions. Some organizations use user-defined functions, sometimes called UDFs, created in VBA or provided by an add-in. If your formula calls something like equals networkdays.intl or a custom function like equals getRate, and the add-in isn't installed or enabled, Excel can return name point. The function name is real in one environment but unknown in another. This also happens when you open a workbook that was built with a specialized plugin, like a finance or engineering add-in. The fix is not to rewrite the formula immediately. First, confirm whether the workbook expects an add-in. If it does, install or enable it, or replace the function with a standard Excel alternative if possible. Name point can be a missing dependency, not a mistake. Next step. Here's a simple, repeatable checklist you can run whenever you see #name. First, scan for any words that should be in double quotes, like yes, no, or a category name. Second, verify every function name, no typos, no extra spaces, and it exists in your Excel. Third, check named ranges and table names. If the formula contains something that isn't a cell reference, confirm it's defined. Fourth, inspect separators, commas versus semicolons, and colons for ranges. Fifth, consider copy-paste issues, smart quotes, and hidden characters. The goal is to narrow it down systematically instead of guessing. If you do these 5 checks in order, you'll solve most hashtag name errors quickly. And even when it's a rare case, you'll know exactly where to look next. Next step. Let's close with a practical way to prevent name errors before they happen. Rely more on Excel's autocomplete for function names instead of typing from memory. When you need text criteria, type the quotes first, then the word, so you don't forget them. For named ranges and tables, use consistent naming conventions and avoid names that look like cell references. If you share files across regions, expect separator differences and test 1 or 2 key formulas early. And when you copy formulas from external sources, assume the quotes and spaces might be corrupted. Retype the critical parts. Named feels annoying, but it's also a clear signal. Excel is telling you exactly what kind of problem it is. Recognition. If you want more Excel debugging breakdowns like this, subscribe. And for a quick check-in, comment with your experience. Do you see name more often from missing quotes or from misspelled functions? Small tweaks compound into massive performance gains. Subscribe to catch the next workflow optimization.